I'm going to share with you today a technique or a tool that helps you create a meaningful shift in your life. And this is called the thinking path. It comes from Corinthus, and we know that when we tend to think certain things and the way that we talk to ourselves, the stories we tell ourselves, the habits we have, the thought habits we have, all of those influence our feelings or our emotions. And our feelings and emotions then have an impact on our choices or our actions or our behaviors, which then in turn influence our outcomes or the results we have. So that we know that when we think about things in a way that there's just not enough, that it's not possible, that I'm not smart enough, funny enough, talented enough, tall enough, whatever it is, whatever the story is that you have there, when you're like, what's wrong with me? And this is the one that I struggle with, and that's there's not enough time. It's just, I don't know how I'm going to get that done. There's just not enough time, right? That there's just not enough of something, or you're not enough in some way. That these kinds of thoughts then, of course, shape your feelings, shape your behaviors, shape your outcomes. So when we can shift the thoughts, we can shift the outcomes. So when we can expand into a place and you can feel it in your chest and your heart, that expansion, right? That lightness, what might be possible. I have something to learn. Even if it doesn't go like I hope it will, there's something to learn. And there's always time for something, right? When you can shift those thoughts, then you can shift your outcomes. So let's talk more about what this might look like. So in my example, there's so much to do. I have to work really hard. There's just like a lot of details. There's not enough time, right? If we can shift those to other ways of thinking when I do that, what's most important? What's the right next step? What do I have time for? It can really help me prioritize and feel less overwhelmed. And who doesn't love that? So in this example, again, if I am staying up late, if I am putting too many details in a presentation or a video, then I know that I need to change that, right? I need to have a different result. I want to finish earlier. I want to be able to unplug and rest. And so then what are the actions that I need to do? I need to stop just keep it working through, but prioritize and focus instead of being stressed, focused on being centered, feeling grounded, being open, right? Not shutting down, but opening. And instead of feeling like, oh, there's so much to do, shift those thoughts, right? That's the foundation, the thoughts. What's most important? What can I do? And also, what can I say no to? Maybe I need to say no to something so I can say yes to whatever the project is. So there's an example for you. I'd love for you to press pause here and think about you. What are some of the things you'd like to shift? What are some of the thoughts you notice yourself having that are not helping you, that are closing possibilities for you? And what might be some thoughts that would help you open possibilities? How would you feel, right? Like, how are you feeling now? And how could you feel? What are some of the actions that you can take? And what are ultimately the results you want? So pause here and think about what you'd like. And again, we know the importance in creating new neural pathways is one, to have a realistic time frame, right? This is not going to happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a week. It doesn't even happen in a couple of months. You need to have more time. And you're also going to need to have other support to bolster this new way of thinking, right? So maybe some affirmations, so intentional thoughts about what you want to be telling yourself. What can you write on a sticky note or a sign or put on your wallpaper to help encourage this new way of thinking? And how can you visualize it? How can you close your eyes and really picture yourself being where you want to be? How can you bring this new possibility into the world, into your reality, into your environment, right? Just like it's already happened. It's not something that is a question. It's a definite possibility, right? So really visualize it and bring it forward. Not everybody likes to journal, and that's fine. The point is to really document your successes so that you can see your progress when you're feeling like you're not making progress. So maybe you can send yourself a text message every day, just a couple words or sentences, or an email, and then it's just that conversation with yourself is going back and forth, and there it is. It doesn't have to be you get a notebook and it's extra work. What is easiest for you? What's the most sustainable to make it happen? And how can you learn about this possibility? How can you talk to? What can you watch on YouTube? What books or articles or blogs or podcasts can you listen to bring this reality more forward so that it is something that you have more tools and preparation for? And who can you talk to that seems to have it figured out, who can give you some pro tips and recommend, okay, try that, and have a dialogue with someone too. And really then work on these little actions and make a commitment to them. So I just invite you to take a moment and pause and write down some of these things that you can do to help bolster this new way of thinking. And Gretchen Rubin, she's got a great podcast on being happier and how to create different habits and understand yourself to have more enjoyment of your life. So check her out. And she makes a really great point here that what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. Because these little habits, the ways that we line ourselves up in the direction that we want to go to make it as easy as possible. For example, if you're trying to start a new exercise routine or get to the gym earlier, get out of bed earlier, what are some things that you can do to make it happen? Maybe you go to sleep in your gym clothes. What are some things that can help line yourself up with the success that you envision for yourself?